Yo guys, what is going on? It's Luki here and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video I'm going to be going through some tips and tricks on how you can get headshots easier in Black Ops 4. Now in Black Ops 4 there's going to be some camos to get. Every single COD there's secret camos that you guys can go ahead and get headshots to unlock. Now basically what you need is like 100 headshots or something, and then you get onto some other challenges. So I'm going to be helping you guys get those headshots because the headshots are probably the hardest part about the camo grind. So yeah. Also, before we get into this guys, if you do enjoy this video or if it does help you in any way whatsoever, make sure to drop a sub and a like because I'm going to be making a lot more videos on this channel to helping you guys out, get camos and improving your game and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to get straight into these tips. So the first and most obvious one is going to be the class you use. Now, one of the biggest tips is to obviously use a certain site. Now, on this game there's a few different sites. There's a tritium site, which is probably my favourite site to be honest, because it's just perfect. It's a little blue dot, and it's kind of like the Elo site in a way. But yeah, I definitely recommend you guys using any of the sites. Literally use any of the sites and you'll be getting a lot more headshots. It doesn't really matter what site you use, but personally my favourite is probably the tritium site. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that right. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but yeah, definitely recommend you guys using literally any of the sites that you get. Now the next thing is going to be to use high caliber. Now on this game, on most weapons you can actually get high caliber 1 and high caliber 2. So if you guys don't know what high caliber is, basically it makes your headshot shots more lethal and you do a lot more damage with your headshots. And obviously if you're doing more damage with your headshots, then you're obviously going to be picking up a lot more kills and a lot more headshots. So I definitely recommend you guys using that if you're aiming for the heads, and if you're properly grinding for this camo and you use high caliber, you're literally going to be getting so many headshots. It's going to be crazy. But anyway, let's get on to the next attachment I recommend. Now the next attachment is going to be quick draw. Now the reason I say quick draw is because when you're running around the corner and you randomly run up against someone, you're going to be aiming very quickly and you're going to be able to get those shots on target first. You're going to be able to snap onto the enemy target and then you're going to be able to aim up to the head before they get their shots on you. And obviously if you're aiming quicker than they are, then you're going to be able to pull off those few headshots a lot more quicker than they are, and you're going to be able to get the camo a lot more quicker and a lot more easier. So I definitely recommend you guys using quick draw. Now the last attachment I recommend you guys using is going to be grip. Now the reason I say grip is pretty obvious, and that is because it makes your recoil a lot less. Now on this game you can actually use grip or quick draw on every single weapon. Like each weapon has its own attachments, which is quite interesting. Like for example, some of the weapons have quick draw but they don't have grip, and then some of the weapons have grip but they don't have quick draw. So if this is the case, then just use whichever one is available. So if you can use quick draw, use quick draw. If you can use grip, use quick draw. Use grip, sorry. So yeah, definitely recommend you guys using those attachments. They're probably the best attachments to go for headshots. Once again, use any site, it doesn't really matter, but my favourite is probably the tritium site. Now, let's get on to the game modes we want to play. So, the game modes I've always played to get headshots with is free-for-all, and a lot of people probably don't really notice or think about playing free-for-all, and the reason I play this is because in free-for-all, 9 out of 10 times, your gunfight is going to be 1 versus 1. You're going to be it's just going to be you and against one other person, which obviously is going to be really good because you're going to be able to take your time and aim up your sights directly to the head. Because for example, if you're in like an objective based game mode, it can be a bit difficult because you're going to be running into a lot more people at the same time. So for example, you're going to be getting into like 1-on-2 gunfights or maybe 1-on-3 gunfights, and if that is the case, you're going to have 3 or 2 enemies to worry about, and you're not going to have much time to actually take your time to aim for the head. So yeah, I definitely recommend you guys using free-for-all. Now another game mode I recommend you guys using is going to be something like domination. Now the reason I say domination is because you can flank around the outside, get behind all the enemies, and then when you are behind them you can go ahead and shoot them in the back and shoot them in the head and they don't even know you're there. So obviously if you are splanking behind them, you're going to be able to sneak around them. They're not going to expect you, so you're not even going to be able to worry about them shooting you or killing you, and you're going to be able to take your time. You're going to be able to line up your shots and get those headshots on target as quickly as possible. And yeah, just shoot them in the back and get those easy free headshots. Now another thing I recommend you guys using or doing is playing on hardcore. Now hardcore is basically a game mode where the health is decreased and it's around about 30% of the health, so usually it's about 1 or 2 shots, and to the head it's about 1 or 2 shots as well, depending on what gun you are using. But yeah, obviously if the game mode you're playing has less shots to kill the enemy, that means you're going to be able to get those easier headshots. I've done this on every single Call of Duty, when I've gone for camos, on Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, literally every single COD. When I went for camos, I played hardcore, and hardcore is probably one of the best game modes to get any camo or paint jobs in, because basically, obviously it's lower health, so this is going to help with one shots for like shotguns or snipers. This is going to help with double kills. This is going to help with long kills, because long range kills, obviously you're going to be shooting people and they're going to be like 1 or 2 shots to kill them across the map, so you're going to be able to get those long shots really easily. So I definitely recommend you, if you're going for camos, play hardcore for literally every single weapon. It is definitely recommended, because it's probably the best. There's so many benefits to playing hardcore when you're going for your camos. But the last thing I want to mention, there's a few little things I want to mention at the end, and one of them is going to be to use UAV. Now I have a tip at the end of the video, so make sure to stay until then. That's probably one of the most best and like secret kind of tips in a way. Now yeah, I'm just going to get onto this tip. So use UAV. The reason I say use UAV, you're probably thinking, how's that going to help me? But the reason I say that is because you're going to have to see where the enemies are on the map, and then this is going to allow you to, just like domination or something, you're going to be able to flank around the enemies, and then you're going to be able to shoot them in the back of the head. So if you're shooting enemies in the back of the head, obviously it's going to be a lot more easier to kill them, because you're not going to have to worry about them shooting back at you, and you're just going to be able to shoot them in the back of the head, and it's going to be so easy to get headshots. Now one of the last things I recommend you guys using is going to be to use what's it called, Recon. Now Recon is one of the specialists, and basically what this does is it allows you to vision pulse the enemies, and it scans the map 3 times, and when it scans the map you can see every single enemy on the map through the walls. So the reason this is so good is because if you're seeing enemies through the wall, then say for example you've scanned an enemy and they're behind a wall, you're going to be able to go and pre-aim their head. So for example, you can see them through the wall, line up your shots into their head where you see them through the wall, and then go around that wall, and then when you're around that corner, you're going to have to get those shots on target a lot more quicker and a lot more easier, because you're going to be able to line up the head and just be able to get those easy headshots. Now that is pretty much it for today's video. Obviously another tip is just to have good accuracy. The better your accuracy is, the better you'll get. So that just comes with practice. Accuracy just comes with practice and stuff like that. But anyway, that is it for all the tips in today's video. Now before I end this video, I want to mention quickly, just make sure to leave a comment down below of what you want me to cover next. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos. I'm going to be doing a lot more camo videos as well, of tips and tricks on how to get them. For example, I'm going to be doing separate videos for snipers or shotguns, and every single like weapon individually. I'm going to be running through the best ways to get headshots for them. So definitely make sure to subscribe and turn those post notifications on if you guys do not want to miss out on those headshot tutorials or like techniques or whatever tips and trick videos. I'm going to be doing a lot of tips and trick videos throughout Black Ops 4, so yeah, you're not going to want to miss them. And once again, make sure to comment down below what you guys want to see. So maybe that's a how to get better KD, how to get better accuracy. I've made videos on these on World War II and they both did really well. So I'm probably going to be making more of those ones. So yeah, once again, that is it for today's video. Make sure to drop a like and a sub if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
This is it. Fire like you've got up there. Enemy tag. day, another dollar.